What's going on, you guys? What is going on, Xbox tax? Been seeing this a lot on Twitter. Been seeing a lot of people talking about the Xbox tax and whether or not it exists or doesn't exist. Now let's go over what I believe the term for Xbox tax is on Twitter. I believe Xbox tax is one of those things where people feel that Microsoft and Xbox have to work up a hill fighting and not on, equal playing grounds with their competitors such as Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. And I think that some of this is true. Do I believe that that is Xbox tax? No. I believe that there's not really a media bias where people are coming together to attack the Xbox brand. I just think so many people don't like the Xbox brand in the media, and they're supposed to be non-biased, but they're not. They act like they are, but they just clearly aren't. You know what Xbox bias is? Xbox bias is IGN makes fun of you in thumbnails. Xbox bias is they forget to put Xbox in trailers consistently and constantly have to re-upload those trailers with the correct prompts in them. Xbox tax is not being able to buy a company and making their games exclusive without the entire media shaming you for doing it. Xbox tax is also making timed exclusives such as Tomb Raider and having the entire industry attack you, but no one says nothing when PlayStation locks down stuff like Final Fantasy, or Nintendo even for that matter, locks down stuff like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. Xbox tax is the media rarely bringing up and consistently talking about negative PlayStation news. Right now, they have one of their biggest games, well, I wouldn't say ever, but they have one of their biggest games just pretty much being canceled on Twitter. And what is that? That is the Knights of the Old Republic remake. And by the way it's looking like, this game has been canceled in some way, shape, or form. Xbox tax is having factions being put on ice and not really anyone ever saying anything about it. Xbox tax is the fact that when it came to Starfield, it felt like all people wanted to do was compare Starfield to everything under the sun instead of comparing Starfield to its roots. Xbox tax is also having, someone that doesn't normally review these games just picking up the joystick for no reason and reviewing it and review bombing it. I just looked for 10-15 minutes on these issues and I found this many. Why don't you guys put in the comment section that's watching this video, tell me more incidences where it's felt like the pendulum has went from one side to the other and people have just favored the Xbox PlayStation brand over the Xbox brand, or even Nintendo. I think Nintendo even has more of a tax than anyone else. I feel like Nintendo is able to get away with having almost no voice dialogue in their games whatsoever. They pretty much never push the standards to any type of graphical performance whatsoever. They have a very weak system that doesn't have great performance. People feel like they don't really hold them accountable for it. Now, when it comes to Xbox, look, they've always had a fight uphill. I think we can all agree on this. It's sad too, because all those instances where I brought up Dustin making that thumbnail with the 1080p and 720p all those years ago, brought up the consistently somehow IGN always missing to put on Xbox on these third-party games that's on their platform in their trailers. I don't know how that happens consistently. One time, that's one thing, but I feel like every other week I'm seeing them do this. So once again, like I said, the Tomb Raider thing, guys, you guys remember how much annoyance people had when they announced that Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive. But like I said, PlayStation has announced time after time that they can grab as many timed exclusives as they want, and people just don't even look at it, and then Microsoft goes out and buys something like Bethesda, ABK, and they complain that they're stripping away games off of that platform to put on the Xbox only with PC. And it's just like, I get it, but at the same time, to me, there's not much difference. Now, obviously, one you own, one you don't. But when you're going out and you're looking at something like a Bethesda, or they're doing it with Square Enix games, and you're looking at Bethesda and you say, I want Deathloop, I want Ghostwire Tokyo, and they're even trying to get Starfield, they would have essentially locked up half of all their games for this generation and half of last generation. Square Enix, they've essentially locked up all of their games for the last generation and this generation. Now, obviously, does that mean that these games don't come to Xbox? Most likely, eventually. Some they never see the light of day. Like right now, Final Fantasy VII Remake hasn't been on the Xbox platform since it came out, and it's been years. No one bats an eye. People say it's just business. But Microsoft's greedy. Microsoft, they shouldn't be spending the money they shouldn't spend. You know, remember when Scalebound got canceled? How many articles was constantly being shown in the industry? And it was just like everyone knew for months and months. To this day, people still bring up Scalebound. I don't know why. Game's been canceled for years, but still people bring it up. It's like they're trying to take jabs at people, knowing that the response to this question isn't going to be very good. You know, it's hilarious that people act like this doesn't exist. Now, does that mean the whole media is like this? No, absolutely not. I would say there is a lot of people in the industry, and especially in the media industry, that aren't biased towards Xbox, or at the very least don't hate the brand. But guess what? None of those people have power. When editors don't like your platform, they can push the whole platform to seeming they don't like your platform, and your whole website to seem you don't like your platform. And it's unfortunate. But to act like this doesn't happen in the industry, I feel is foolish. Now, obviously, these aren't related incidences. For the most part, this is not the industry coming together saying, you know, F Microsoft, F Xbox, we're going to do whatever we can. I truly believe between that and a combination of we know what's going to get clicks, because a lot of these websites, they do nothing but drive behind console war fiasco. They know that these are going to give them hits. People give them hits, so they continue to do it. Like I said before, man, Xbox tax is a real thing. I do think that Microsoft is going to have to put out product that is so good that there's no denying it, because we've seen from time to time, you know, people don't bring up the Wasteland 3s or the Outer Worlds, these games that Microsoft, you know, maybe not so much as Outer Worlds, Psychonauts 2, that Microsoft and Xbox have helped nurture these games. You know, the studio head over there said that Psychonauts 2 wasn't going to have the majority of the boss fights in the game, but Microsoft let them go back in the studio. Like, look, these are stuff that you cut out of the game. We want you to put them back in it. Where's the coverage for that? I feel like you only hear about that every now and then. And when it happened, no one really covered it. But let Microsoft mess up anything, even remotely, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on GameSpot, IGN, Kotaku's going to make 15 articles about it. I mean, just look at the Starfield thing. IGN and GameSpot were competing on who had the worst review for Starfield. How, fam? How? Look, this Xbox tax thing is a white and gray and black area. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, a white and black area. There's a lot of stuff in the gray. I don't know how to fix it. I think Microsoft would have to consistently put out good content where these people would just look like haters instead of just pointing out outliners. You know, Starfield is a phenomenal game, and a lot of people like Starfield. But there is enough holes in Starfield and the quality of Starfield where I could see how someone that knows their way around the industry, knows what would upset people, they know how to attack Starfield and make it look horrible. A lot of issues with Starfield. There's no denying that. Everyone, we got to be honest with that. But it was still a phenomenal game. And to say it failed is crazy to me. You know, industry entirely has to do better. And hopefully if Microsoft hits it with Hellblade 2, hits it with Avowed, hits it with Fable, really brings back Halo into a really good spot, then I would say the Xbox tax thing, not necessarily people still won't be biased, but then they'll start looking crazy if they're talking negative on really high positive games. But anyway, you guys in the comment section below, tell me if you guys think there's an Xbox tax. I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on that. And until next time, I appreciate all the support you guys give me. Normally I was going to take this day off, but I was like, you know what? I see people talking about Xbox tax, and I feel like I got a lot to say. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Xbox tax is crazy.